Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 122nd episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So as I mentioned in the end of the last video, while this album might not be quite as much of an artistic statement as Tribe's legendary Send-Off, what it does do an amazing job of is high quality gangster rap that has a radio sensibility. And if there was one label that was succeeding in virtually every corner in the early to mid 2010s, it was TDE. Be it amongst the hood or people who were more casual rap fans, to even the more stingy underground circles. The label's overall roster would grow throughout the decade and birth new stars like Isaiah Rashad or SZA, but the real core fan base was birthed off the four Black Hippie members, those of course being Kendrick Lamar, Ab-Soul, J-Rock, and the legend we're focusing on today, Schoolboy Q. I thought this would be a good time to discuss Q with his new album right around the corner. Actually, it might even be out by the time you're seeing this. While he first caught my attention with 2011 Setbacks, as well as Habits and Contradictions the following year, 2014's Oxymoron definitely took his career to the next level with what are arguably still some of his biggest hit songs to this day. I wouldn't really attribute this to any sort of falling off as much as it is Q evolving and maturing as an artist, like with his experimental and artistic 2016 release Blank Face, but even still that album featured the Kanye collaboration That Part, which I'm sure everyone still remembers. His last album in 2019 might not have garnered the same attention and status of his previous releases, but it did still have its highlights like Chopsticks or Num Num Juice. However, today we're discussing Oxymoron, which definitely gave Q some of his most successful moments to date, like Studio, Man of the Year, and of course Collard Greens. I've always felt that Schoolboy Q was an insanely underrated MC and writer who really displayed his chops as a lyricist and overall spitter when he destroyed both his Double XL cipher as well as the freestyle that they have him do. But if I'm being totally honest, as much as I enjoyed this era of TDE while it was happening, this was one of the only LPs that I didn't initially love when it first came out. I enjoyed and understood the appeal of the more poppy moments to a certain degree, but I was still under the impression that lyrical boom bap and club-oriented party bangers had to be kept separate for some reason. Of course, I don't still feel that way today, and this is definitely one of the albums that helped expand my mind in that department and have a less myopic view of hip-hop overall. You get too many different sounds and ideas on this LP to not respect it, as Schoolboy is really taking his time on here to tackle every style of song to the best of his ability. He's always been a surefire pick as a feature for songs from other rappers, which is where I feel he really displays his more battle rap side. You still get plenty of those moments here though. Q lets you know right from track 1 that this isn't going to be some bubblegum pop experience. This is like early DJ Quick level of repping your set, with a good amount of old school slang and references thrown in amongst the more modern ones. In fact, one of the features on Oxymoron here is actually a frequent DJ Quick collaborator, that being the legendary Sugar Free, who as usual puts his inhuman poetic hood bars on full display on Groove Line Part 2. The song he appears on is fittingly about pimping, and Sugar Free takes the opportunity to use his guest appearance to play his part as the OG who's giving game to Q as the younger pimp. Just like he always does, Sugar gives us some super memorable bars, some of my personal favorites being "Watch me go Black Forest ham," an old school player with the new gift gab, and "Don't let your shark weak mouth override your green goldfish ass." So for every hoe you clown I'm a crown to, and anything good hurts, and I cried shit, I just don't want you to throw it up in my motherfucking face, or I choose not to do this around you. A couple other highlights off his verse are gems like, "Hoe you like a brain aneurysm. Want two heads with the same dandruff in 'em, only to scratch the itch with baby rattlesnake fangs, no heads and shoulders or anti-venom." As well as "Red to blue to debt to do, it's easier to put a watermelon through the eye of a needle. This is done by choice, not by force. I ain't asking, I'm telling you." The rest of the features are just as impressive, with us getting verses or hooks from the likes of Kendrick, J-Rock, 2 Chainz, VJ the Chicago Kid, SZA, Corrupt, Raekwon, and Tyler the Creator. For this one, I'm going to get my 3 favorite tracks out of the way first. with those being The Purge, Blind Threats, and Break the Bank. For honorable mentions that I didn't already name in this video, I'd have to go with Gangsta, What They Want, Hoover Street, Prescription slash Oxymoron, Hell of a Night, His and Her Fiend, and Fuck LA. Thank you for watching my 122nd video. Next time we're going to stay in LA to talk about arguably the most experimental and noisy act I've covered yet. So check in for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite moments off this TDE staple are. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.